everyone, this is Masoud, and we are with you with another session of programming, and this is my friend
Hi everybody, this is
Omid, and
the student of this course.
yeah, of course. So we were developing the shop management product application.
This is our third session, yeah?
This is our fourth session.
Fourth session.
Yes, I think this is our fourth session, and in the last session we programmed a bit. We wrote a do-while loop that printed the receipt item by item, if you remember, if you recall. We wrote this do-while loop that iterated the item products that the manager enters and iterates over them. This session, we are going to do a bit of refactoring because if you take a good look at this application, it still does not do a complicated thing. It is not that complicated yet, but it is almost 70 lines of code, and when you want to read this code, this will
confusing, huh?
Yeah, this is confusing. This reads well, although this reads well. You know, you read it line by line, and your mind accepts it, and you see that it will be executed line by line, you know, and sequentially. But we are going to make new structures. We have used very simple structures like loop structure. This is a loop structure. We have not used if a statement structure yet, but this is called structured programming. Back in old days of programming, many years ago when it started, they started with this methodology of programming. They started writing programs in a structured way, and very basic structures like do while structure, if structure, and after that, and now we are going to modularize this structure to smaller structures. We are going to modularize them into functions and put names on them, so we could call them not just once,
function
many
by
times.
function.
Yes, function by function.
You want to do something.
For example, if
this is the meaning of refactoring.
Refactoring, yes. Refactoring means touching the code again and making it better. Touching it for the good, for better.
Are there any standards?
Yes, there are a lot of standards and methods. For example, Uncle Bob, Robert C. Martin, has a great book about refactoring. Almost, I think, 3 or 4 chapters of clean code ebook. The book is about refactoring. Or Martin Fowler has a dedicated book about refactoring.
Okay.
It is titled Refactoring. I've forgotten the exact title, but it is just only dedicated to the subject of refactoring. And they are the best practices, not standards. They are the best practices that have been developed over the years, and they have, for example, put some names on them, on the best practices of refactoring. One of these patterns of refactoring or best practices, extracting function or method, and we are going to use this in this session a lot. We are going to extract function. If you take a good look at these lines of code, you may see some block of code which is doing a specific thing. For example, this do while structure here
always print something. Huh?
No.
Read line.
This is for asking for the items. This will ask for the items of the receipt, of the shopping cart, shopping basket.
Very good.
This line 33 to 50. This is just doing this task, the task of asking for the items of the shopping cart. Or for example, these lines, this loop here is just only asking for the products. If you see,
yes,
it is just asking for the products.
Okay.
So we could take these lines, for example, these lines from 10 to 27. Let me just move these fields and lists to an author scope so that all of the functions could access them. As you remember, because you are from the Java world, it was weird for you the first time that you saw we could write functions, top-level functions in the KT file.
Yes.
out of a class. No.
Mm-hmm.
It is also possible for us to write, the Kotlin also let us to write global variables, global objects that is accessible through everywhere, through every function. So we could take these two lines, for example, and no, let me just first refactor it and put it into a function. Then we'll see that these lines should be accessible, these variables, by this main function and the other function. So we will be forced to move it to an author scope, to a global scope. So, so I want to cut these lines. I don't want to use any shortcut yet on keyboard. I just want to do a simple cut and cut these 10 or 15 lines of code. And I want to write a new function with the fun keyword. So let's name this function create products. Okay, because what it does after all is creating the products. Now I paste the lines that I just cut here, and as you can see, these lines are only about
asking about the name, the price.
Yes, it's only about asking about the product, and this loop will continue until the user chooses to finish. Yeah, and we have created this function, and we can now go ahead and call this function here. Calling function, you may have not been aware that we were calling a lot of functions here. For example, read line is a function that we are calling, or mutable list of is a function, or the println itself is a function.
How do you understand that's a function? Because of the
if you
they're right italic.
No, not by font. If you
parentheses.
Yeah. By these parentheses at the end of the statement. These parentheses means that we are calling a function named readline, and this readline is defined somewhere. So we could press and hold the control key, and as you can see, it will be clickable. Yes, if we click on it, you will see that it is defined somewhere in the Kotlin runtime library, and it is defined by fun keyword. So it is a function, and I don't want you to pay attention to these lines, the other lines, because it will make sense for you later. But I just want you to focus on this line. The read line is a function, or the mutable list of is a function that we are calling. So we have already called a lot of and used a lot of other functions that have been defined for us. And now we are going to write one of our own. We have written the first function, the main function, as the entry point of the application. But now we are going to write other functions. So we write this function with the fun keyword, and we put a name on it, create products. So this function can be called anywhere, anytime by this name.
In the main.
Anywhere, in any function, yes. We can, for example, come here and call the create products function. It is, if you press and hold the control key and we click, you will see that it will redirect us here. It will showing
to the exact function.
Yes, it is showing us that this function is actually these lines of code that will be executed. So when the application starts, it will start from line 33, line 35. Then this will call this function. Calling this function is simply means the execution will come here and will continue from here. And after the last line of function, this will return to the line 38.
And again?
Yes, this will continue.
Calling another function and goes there.
This will continue from here. Absolutely. So what else? What else could be refactor? What other function could we extract here?
There is another that you have highlighted that's about the products, yeah?
Yes.
For example, entering the items, entering the number.
This is about
detail of the product.
Items. This is about
items. Sorry.
This is about the details of the shopping cart. So go ahead, you extract that into a function.
Thank you. Up to here, yes. Then cut it. I should write the name of the function here.
Somewhere else, yes.
So we should say font, and then we should choose a good name for that.
Yes, absolutely. The naming is.
Could we write detail of the, yes or no?
Functions,
it should be a verb.
name of the functions, yes, should be a verb, not a noun. For
Ask,
example,
ask the detail of the.
yes,
Ask
could be asked the detail.
The detail of the products, yeah,
Products.
or no, item.
It is actually, let's first just paste the lines that you've got here and see what it is doing. So the syntax of function is the fun keyword and a name and a parentheses. And you've forgotten the parentheses. No, before the brace. This brace indicates the scope and the lines that is dedicated to this function that will be executed sequentially one after another. And these parentheses has other meanings that we'll see more later. So you have given this function the name of ask the details of product. But this is not asking for the detail of product. These lines, what these lines are doing, these are not asking for the detail of product. These are asking for the items of the shopping cart, shopping basket.
Okay, so we should change the name.
Yes, and also the convention in Java and Kotlin for writing the function name is we should write them in a camel case form. The beginning of each word should be capital, but the first should be lowercase. Should not be an uppercase. Should be a lowercase.
For function.
Yeah, for functions, this is the convention.
There's another type. What's that? That starts with the capital.
The classes. We'll see.
No, what's the name of that? You say camel case and I can't remember.
No. Camel case means that.
I know that camel case means that the first letter of each word should write in capital.
Yes.
But there is another method that's the first word also is in capital.
That's the class. For naming classes, we will.
No. I mean camel
snake?
case. I don't know. I forgot the
snake. I think it's a snake.
Snake.
I think it's a snake case.
No.
So this is not what it is doing. This is telling lie. This is telling lie about what it's doing. This is not asking for the detail of product. This is asking for the items, the details of items, or for the items of the basket, cart, shopping cart. So let's first rename the function. Ask the items of shopping cart. And as you can see, these two lines are red, and it is complaining that
I cannot.
Yet the reference is unresolved. I cannot resolve the reference to item product names. There is no such thing as item product names. So why is that? Why is that so? It's because
that's in this scope.
These two lines, these two variables, these two lists are declared. This is the declaration part. The part that starts with val and var is the declaration part. This is declared in this scope. Each brace is a scope. This is the start of this scope, and this is the end of this scope. Everything that is defined inside this scope, which is shop name value, customer name value, these two, this one, these two, but all these two are defined in even in a smaller and narrower scope. As you can see, this item product name and this item product amount is defined in this do while scope. Inside this opening and closing braces. So if I write and try to access this item product name, as you can see, this is not resolvable. It cannot resolve this reference. It is complaining that there is no such thing as this item product name in this scope, in the scope of main function, because it is defined in this scope. So
we have to change the scope.
Yeah, we should
the top, huh?
We should move these two lines, these two declarations to an outer scope, to a
general scope.
To more general scope, yes.
Everybody or every function.
So we could cut these lines, cut them, and move them here at top to out of the function and paste it there. And as you can see,
now it
is not red, and it is accepting them. And so we have written this, we've extracted this function, and we want to use this function here. We have replaced these lines with this function, and we should use it here. Ask the item of shopping cart. And so create products, ask item of shopping carts, and what these lines are trying to do.
Finally, it says that how many items do you have? Yes, for example, you bought 3 apples. Yes.
Yes.
Index.
It is actually printing the receipt.
The receipt, yes.
It is printing the receipt. It is what it does.
Yes.
So I want to use the keyboard shortcut. Sorry, not keyboard. The keyboard shortcut of extracting function or method. And I don't want to cut and paste this time. If you press Alt Control M inside IntelliJ IDEA, Alt Control M, the extract function dialog will appear. And it will say that, let me just make it public. Don't pay attention to this visibility for the moment. It is telling us that, okay, what the name of function could be. So I name it. Yes, it should be a sentence that ends with a verb. It should not be a noun or an adjective. It should be a verb. So I say print, because each function is doing something. It's like we are ordering it to do something. So we should order this function with a verb, not with noun. Please, for example, print receipt. Print the final receipt. And let me just collapse these functions and move this function main to the bottom. Now, if you take a good look at this application,
that's so clean.
You'll see that, yeah, this is so clean, as you see. It is 5 or 6 lines of code, and each line speaks for itself, tells that what it is doing. We could also do more refactoring, and we could also put other lines into another function.
If you want to change anything, we could go exactly to that function.
Yes.
And then change something.
For example, these 2 lines, Alt Control M, ask customer name, or these 2 lines, ask shop name. Let me get rid of this private keyword. I'll explain it later what private public means. So the main function is now using
the method, the functions.
Yes, 4 other functions. It is calling 4 other functions. That each function
has its own.
Yeah, it speaks for itself. It is not used.
Each function has its own function.
Ask. So it will first ask shop name, then it will create products, then it will ask customer name, then it will ask the items of shopping cart, and after that it will print the final receipt. This is our function, and it reads very well. As you can see, now we can see what this application do, what it is doing. But if you remember the first time, the start of the session, there were 60, 70 lines of code that it was very hard to reason about, to discuss about what these lines are doing.
Changing the part of that.
Yes. So refactoring helps a lot at reading things, at reading our codes. Also, it modularizes the code to be reused later. We can reuse these lines, these functions, or we could ask them so many times. If you, for example, want to
also, we can test them easily. I see.
Yes.
If you want to ask that the function,
of course.
Does the function work quickly?
Of course.
We can put that in a println.
Of course, you can test these functions. So let's run the application to see that it is actually the same. We have just restructured it. It is semantically doing the same. It is first asking for the shop name, and then it is asking for the product name, for example, P1000, and then it is asking for, do you want to define another product? I say nope. It again asks for the customer name. It is calling this function here, and the execution is moved to this line 80. And let's say, for example, customer, and then it asks for the items of shopping cart. It is calling this function here.
Yes.
And it is inside this loop. It is now at line 36. And I say, please enter item product, for example, P1, 3, and is there any item? Nope. And at last it prints the items. As you can see, item 1 is 3 of P1. It is printing the receipt.
Okay.
So I want to do a little bit more of refactoring here. The refactoring and extracting code into functions also helps us in avoiding the duplications. So as you can see in these 2 functions, the create products and ask the items of shopping cart functions, we have these two lines that at the end of this loop, it asks for the if we want to continue adding another one, if we want to continue looping once more. It has a slight change, slight difference, that in asking, do you want, for example, to do X? Yes or no? Do you want to do something? Yes or no?
We can make it one question.
Yes.
And make it function and use it in.
First, let's run the application. What happens if we don't enter neither yes nor no? For example, shop name shop. It will ask for the product name P1 and 1000. Then it will ask, do you want to define another product? Yes or no? What will happen if I, for example, enter Y? This is a simple Y. What will happen?
Nothing, I think.
It is in here. Now it is in create product. It is in here. Line. We are now at line 27. It is waiting in this line, read line. It is waiting for us to.
I think it will continue again, because we said that if answer does not equal
to no. Yeah.
And that is not equal to no, so it will continue again.
Of course, it will continue looping once, because anything that we enter here that does not equal to no, it will not satisfy this condition, this Boolean condition here, and it will loop. It will satisfy. It won't be equal to no, so it will loop once.
To next level.
Yes.
Again, loop it again.
So if I enter, for example, this gibberish and press enter, it will again ask for the product name here.
Goes
it
to
will
next
come
method.
to the line 17. It will loop once more. But I want to prevent this. I want to, for example, say
just enter yes or
yes, no. Yes. If it is, for example, if answer does not equal to yes, or two pipes. These are called pipes. Two pipes means or answer does not equal to no. Please ask for the answer once more. It will ask for the answer once more. But the answer says that it is a val
and can change it to a var.
To a var, yes. It cannot be reassigned. It is assigned once here and it cannot be reassigned.
In the first session, we have learned about that.
Yes. If you change it to a var, or a variable,
the error will solve.
Yeah, it will resolve the error and it will allow us to assign it once more. And so now, if again the user, let me run this application again. Shop. It will ask for the product name. I enter P1 and price 1000. Then it will ask me, do you want to continue? I enter something that does not make sense. And if I press enter, it will wait for me to enter yes or no. It is here now. Okay.
We can enter anything.
Anything, yes. Again, I enter, for example, no, and it won't. It will go out of this loop. But I want to
print it.
Print again that. Do you want? Again, I copy and paste this line here. Do you want to define another product?
We have to write.
Please print. I print ln again. Print.
Enter valid value.
Yes, please. Only enter yes or no. But as you can see, it will only ask for the correct answer, yes or no, just only once. And if we again enter, for example, something other than yes or no, it won't ask us again, and it will take it as it does not equal to no, so I can loop once more.
Yes.
But we want to wait here until it is
the user enters yes or no.
Yes. We could change this if structure. This is a structure.
To do what?
To a while. To a while. This here says that if this condition, this is the condition, so do these lines. With while loop, while structure, we say that while this condition holds, do these. So this will loop these lines here until we enter the correct yes or no. Let's run this again. It asks for the shop name, enter shop, it says enter product name, it's a P1000. If I, for example, enter something other than yes or no, it will say, please,
print it
do you want yes, please. If I enter something else, it will again ask me correctly. This will loop. The reason I put these lines here, I wanted to draw your attention to this duplication, because we need these lines also here. In here, we are asking for, is there any item, yes or no? And if the user enters other than yes or no, we have to copy and paste these lines, Control C, Control V here. And
that's duplication.
We should Control C and Control V, ask again for, is there any item, and make the answer var. So there is a pattern is growing here, as you can see. We are duplicating logic, duplicating lines here. There's duplication. And we want to avoid that by extracting functions. So if, for example, we had some function named ask until yes or no. Ask until yes or no. So if we had a function like so, that if it asks for yes or no, and until the user enters yes or no, it loops, it waits there. We could use that function here, these lines. We could replace these lines with that. So if I cut and paste these lines, cut and paste it here. And so let me put answer here, var answer. And I enter ask until yes or no. So we are now asking for yes or no, and it will call this function
and will run that
and wait here in this loop until we enter yes or no. But there should be a sign here for us that the user has entered yes or no. After the user exits from this loop here, this function should inform us, should tell us that
the function entered, the user entered yes or no.
The user entered yes or no, and we accepted. We accepted it. So this function should return something. At the end, it should return something. So far, our functions does not return anything. As you can see, they just do some lines of code. They don't return anything. But this function needs to return something. We have to return to the caller of this function
yes or
whether the user entered yes or no.
Return answer.
Yeah, we could return the answer itself, return answer. After the user enters the correct answer and we accept it and we exit this loop and we let the user to exit this loop, we return the answer. So it complains, we return some value from function by this keyword return. And it complains that the function that is returning something should tell us that
it will return something.
What is the type of the thing that is returning. In Java, I know that you wrote...
Yes, I write, for example, public
void or int,
and the name and the...
You used to write the type of the thing that the function returns before the name of the function. Yes. But here, we write it after the name of the function, after the parentheses. We enter a colon, and then we say that it will return a value of type string. So we say that this function will return a value of type string, and it accepts it. It said, okay, the answer is a string. It is a string. We have inferred it here. And the user has assigned some string. And we have accepted whether it is yes or no, and we will return it. So here, the ask until yes or no will return something. And we will assign it to answer. We will assign this value to answer. And there is no need for this to be a var. It can be val. Because when we call this ask until yes or no at line 39, it won't return here, and it won't continue executing here until it exits this loop and returns a correct yes or no answer. So let's test this function to see if it does work. So the shop, and it says that enter product name P1000. Then it says, do you want to define another product? I say, for example, this. It again asks until this, until I say yes or no. And if I enter no, for example, this will accept the no here because it is yes or no. This will exit this loop. This will return the answer here, and this will put the answer into this. If I press enter, do you want to define another?
That goes to another.
No, yes, it is not working correctly. No. Why? Because while answer.
Because I think here we didn't check the answer.
Where?
Here or no?
No. It is looping here. It is telling that please until answer equals not equals to yes or not equals to no loop. So the answer, we get the answer here, and it is no. Let me enter yes. Enter something else. the answer. While it is not equals to yes. Oh. The condition that we have written here says that until it is not equals to yes or
until it should be yes.
It should be not equal to yes and not equal to no. But the moment it equals to one of these, we should exit the loop. This condition holds whatever you enter. If you enter, for example, A, it will not equal to yes or it will not equal to no. If you enter no, it will not equal to yes.
Yes,
so because
exactly. All the time it's true.
It is all the time true, yes. If we change it to and 2 ampersands. 2 ampersands means and. These two conditions should be held at the same time. So if the answer neither is yes nor is no, please continue this loop. But the moment it equals to one of these, this will exit the loop. Let's put this to the test. Shop 1000 and something else, then no. So as we enter no, it will say please enter the customer name, and it will exit the function.
Right.
So for this session, I want to use this ask until yes or no. Also here, I want to cut these duplicated lines and replace it with the usage of this function, ask until yes or no. We want to reuse our functions. We want to make them reusable. So here I'm asking for
item.
Yeah, more items, not for defining product. So if I find a way to make it more generalized, to generalize this function, to ask, to pass this function the thing that this function will ask. I could use it anywhere for anytime, anywhere. Yes. Because if I use it here, for example, if I get rid of these lines, and the answer, I use this ask until yes or no, this will actually work. This will work.
With those titles.
But yeah, it will ask wrong.
Yeah,
it will ask for the wrong question. This will get the yes or no answer, and it will continue. This loop will continue if I say yes, and it will exit if I say no. But it will ask for the wrong question. This is the wrong question here. This is the right question in this create products scope. So what is your propose here?
I think it's not better to pass some parameters.
Yes.
To here.
Yes.
As in a string and put it here.
Yes. Go ahead.
Me?
Yes.
Is it true? Here we should write.
In Kotlin, the type should come after the name. Yes.
So I call it message.
Message colon, then type. Yes, of course.
That's true?
Yes, that's true. Message colon string. So this is new. This is the first time that we are seeing the syntax. What is he trying to do is defining a parameter for this function. So whenever we want to use this function, we should pass a value to this function. What we are doing here is generalizing this function.
Is it true?
Println message. So it is complaining. It is complaining here. It is in here in line 39. It is saying that no value passed.
We have to pass that value.
Yes, for parameter. You should pass a string. You are passing a string. What are you going to?
How about the other one? We
have used it here, and it's complaining here too. Do you want to define another product? Yes or no? Do you want to define another product? So
could we test it out?
No, this is correct, but you've not passed the value here. Yes.
What that was about the item, huh?
Yes.
What was that?
Is there any item? Is there any item?
Is there
any item? More items. So
I'd like to put the column here.
Yeah, okay. Pay attention to this line. This line also should be replaced because it is asking for the product.
That's
get rid of this line.
Okay, the red message again.
Yes, write message again. And run the application. Yes. Shop, the product name, product price. Then it asks for, do you want to define another product? Yes or no?
Yes.
You answered yes. Another product.
Name, for example.
P A
P1.
Again P1. Let's enter something wrong. It will ask again for the product.
And then we say no.
No.
Oh,
No space. Yeah.
No.
Print space and
Customer name.
enter the customer name, please.
For example.
Yeah, whatever. Press it. We entered nothing for the product name. It is asking for product amount
of.
And the number is so it is asking again for, is there any more items? If we say other than yes or no, this will again ask, is there any more items? Please only enter yes or no. So it is working correctly, and we have replaced these 5, 6, 7 lines of code, and we can use this function anywhere else.
We want.
Yes, more than one time, multiple times, anywhere else. And we don't have to copy and paste and make duplications all over our code. And so we learned in this session about writing new functions, passing values to functions, returning values from functions, defining the types of the parameters and the return value of the function, about extracting functions to avoid duplications and to modularize our code to be easy to reason about. Now if you look at our code, this is destructed into very small pieces, and we can
function.
Yes, it is function, multiple functions, and we can check them one by one to see if they do what they say. But assume that these lines were all inside the main functions. It is tolerable, it's bearable now, but I think after 10 sessions, the main function would be 1,000 lines of code.
Yes.
That will go out of hand, managing the
we have
code.
To manage.
Yes. Good. So this is enough for this session.
Thank you. Thank you for watching us.
Thank you for watching.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, hope you learned something.
Push the ring button also.
Goodbye.